Canberra Metalheads.
The Archives.
Me and You Season 2. Alright, let's kick it.
Hello and welcome to the interview section of Canberra Metalheads. You got Marky Malphas and we've got
JDecay.
And from left to right we got
Marcus.
the guitarist from Witchskull.
Yes,
And
Marcus.
vocals?
And singing.
Cool.
Sings. Plays.
Joel, drums.
Tony, saxophone.
Tony plays the bass.
The man bass.
Cool, man. It's good to have you guys in the studio. We just listened to The Son of the Snake from the latest album, Covenant's Will.
Cool.
And that's why we've got you in, because, you know, you've been doing some stuff lately with stuff from that album. It came out last year from Rise Above Records. We had you in the studio for the release of that one, and it's good to have you guys back. The track we just heard, Son of the Snake, there at the start of the interview, just to give everyone a taste, in case they forgot from the start of the show when they heard Raven or when they've gone out and seen you guys live. What was it like, you know, putting that song together and playing that? It's got like it fits in well with the album. What was the writing process like?
That was slightly an unusual song for us, because even though a lot of our songs are about slow, medium paced, it's pretty epic. There's a few sections in it, and it's something that we built up and worked on over a number of years. So we initially had the seed for that main riff and song 3 or 4 years ago, and we always had it on the back burner. And then we started rehearsing, and Joel and Tony really pushed it. I was like, oh, you know, yeah. And then I realised, no, this song's really, really good. I don't think back when we started playing it, we were actually like good enough to play it. But then as we got better as a band, and it's epic. And then we got this amazing singer, Erica, to come in and do guest vocals on it. And I do like Dolly Parton, Kenny, what's his name? Kenny Rogers duet with Erica. And it's really unusual, because you don't often hear that. The dude sings one line and then Erica sings the next line.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I had it.
Yeah, I love that.
She was a friend of Billy's, man, the guy who produced it.
Yeah.
Man, she's a killer monster. Like, when she started singing, we were just floored in the studio. It was like, wow, man, listen to this. This is it took to a new height, man, when in the studio. It, like, really took shape. Yeah. And like you said, it's a monster epic track, that one, man.
Yeah. What's hard, though, is I'm the one who has to do Erica's part of it when we do it live. So Marcus sings one line and I sing the next. And
It's still killer.
Yeah, look, I just can't. Obviously, it sounds way better when she does it. But, we weren't going to sort of not do the song because of that. We really like playing it live. So
that's
I
good,
just sing it different.
It's like, that's the true romantic duet there.
Oh, it's lovers in the night passing by Paris along the Seine River. Bearded lovers.
Was it? Did they say Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers? But imagine Kenny Rogers, Dolly Rogers. Imagine, that's a bit offensive, eh? No.
Dolly Rogers.
You got to watch out for the billing on that
the
song.
Son of the Snake
Kenny
song.
Rogers, Dolly Parton.
The Son of the
There you
Snake
go.
song. It's a good song.
Good song.
Yeah.
That's
Tony
it.
came up with the first riff, down, but down, allow. I come up with the Sabbath bit in the middle. All my things are just going to be basically derivative of Black Sabbath, who I love and live for. And then the last bit Tony came up with, which is pretty Sabbath too.
Yeah.
Stoked on it.
So I remember when we spoke before, the accurate description was just like Witchskull is a cross between like Black Sabbath and Motorhead, basically.
Awesome.
It's like influenced by like both sides of that.
Yep,
The
we'll drink
feral-
for that.
I think
Feral
someone described us, it sounds like Motorhead playing Black Sabbath.
Yeah, right.
So we don't claim to be, you know, the same level as either of those bands. But
I think you guys have the bigger tone, man. You guys, not detracting from the styles, but you guys have like a uniqueness, that Australian kind of heavy metal undertone that like brings you guys to new heights, man. It's amazing.
It's like an Aussie tone with a Brooklyn accent.
It's very unorthodox. It's very unorthodox approach and we accidentally just did it ourselves, and it was from Tony being stubborn. But you know, mostly all the doom bands and all the heavy bands that tune down, the bass player will tune down too. I'm tuned down to B. And when I said to Tony, tune down, he's like, nah, I want to play in standard. And so everything with Tony now, my open string is his 7th fret.
Yep.
So Tony just plays everything. Poor dude.
My whole life
It's
on the
spent
seventh, on the B.
seventh
Me and B.
fret,
My life on the
and I
seventh.
play the open B. But what it actually is doing, instead of the bass being an octave lower, it's not. We're playing exactly the same note in the same octave.
And that does make it sound different. There's no two ways about it.
So it gives it a tighter sound. It's not the sludgy doom sound because the bass has got a tight bass tone. No, you don't. You don't.
Tighter.
You don't have any sloppiness.
Thank you, Marcus. I'm not a sloppy jalopy.
It's good, man. It's good to hear more about the
I don't know any other bands that even do that. I haven't talked to bands about the tuning, but I don't think there's any bands, man.
That's the thing, man. So like usually
No, there wasn't no bands. Now when they hear this, they're
It's going to
gonna
be a plethora.
be like, we want to be like them.
hear where it all started.
I reckon with us, it's like everything. Australian bands tend to have like a feralness to them. I reckon there's a bit of an Australian sound with all heavy music, where it just comes from. There's something that you can just hear. There's just a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And I think Tony, although he's from New York, he totally. He's just even more feral. No, you know what I mean? Like it definitely fits in, but it's. I reckon the fact that the stubbornness of just saying I'm not detuning my bass. This is how my bass sounds, so we'll just have to work around that. That's what's helped generate a sound because the three of us kind of are pretty uncompromising in our approach.
And 4 strings. Like, we don't want to go to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We want 4 strings. Bumpa, bumpa, bumpa. All right? Write that down.
I'm taking notes.
Okay. Keep it easy.
Everything with us is just ultra stripped back and simple.
Yep.
Like we just try and play as caveman and as Neanderthal. If you went back 40,000 years and went into a cave and there was the amps and the drums and you just play real proper. We're trying to get inside the groove. We're not trying to ride over the ocean on a jet ski. We're trying to swim down in the ocean like scuba divers and really get inside the groove. And we want people to dance.
Yep.
And, so unless it's groove-based, we're not going to do anything jolty.
Yep.
And we're not going to do anything that's going to have to have people all of a sudden just standing there going, well, what do I do here, you know what I mean? So we're just more about the party mode. We want to be like a party band, nothing overly thought out.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, I think that's the Motorhead approach, maybe.
Yeah, I
is
think
that's
so, yeah.
that element, but there's still the bleakness and the darkness of Sabbath and your lyrical content is pretty bleak
It's a
and pretty
rock
out there.
thing,
Yeah, so there's that combination of, and I think it wasn't contrived. It's not like we sat down and said, "Oh, this is what we're going to do." Try and, you know what I mean. All you can do is what you do. And as we get older, it's that whole thing where it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks as long as the three of us are happy with what we're doing.
About what other people think. It's too late for that.
Yeah, it's good too because it's like a solid style, and I mean, as a 3-piece, it fits really well. It's just as a 3-piece, it nails it. I think the last time I seen you guys play was at the I Exist gig at Transit. And I think it was 2 weeks after that I had Josh Nixon on the show.
Oh, he's our brother.
Yeah. So he's been good. That was a good interview actually, and that was
Josh can talk.
Oh, he's almost like a celebrity.
I never heard him speak once.
I could see him working as a radio or a TV guy.
Yeah.
Like he could host a morning show.
Yeah.
Oh, TV. I'd watch TV then. If Josh
I would, man. Yeah, I'd actually
Josh's morning show, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I'd watch Josh's morning show.
I don't know if there's enough X's for that show, but it'd be
The
great.
Josh and
I feel like it
Fuzz
would be
morning show. Jason
Josh
Fuller.
Nixon.
Him
Good
and
morning with
Fuzz.
Josh Nixon.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
It would.
That'd be great.
It'd probably be more like a late night sort of like.
Oh yeah, 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I could definitely see myself coming home from a bar shift and watching Josh Nixon. And,
I actually think he missed his call because I actually think that's what he was born to do, as well as be the best doom guitar player Australia's ever seen.
Yeah.
Be like a dude on the radio or TV because he's just so charismatic.
Yeah, man. No, he like. Him being on the show was really rad to have him here, and I guess it was one of those things where it was an obvious choice. It just took so long for it to actually just naturally occur. I never really pushed for it. I just knew that at some point it was going to happen.
Yep.
And he actually messaged me about it, and I was just like, "Yeah, I can't believe it's taken me this long to even, to have you on." So it just. He's
happened. Absolute quality. He's really selfless. Yeah. So he drove us up to Brisbane and back, and he's driven us to Melbourne, and
yeah, man.
He's just a fantastic person.
Oh, he's in the Witchskull circle, man, from day one.
Well, I mean, he wanted to be second guitar player. I was open to it, but Joel and Tony are not.
Oh, look.
Well, not that against Josh. If we had another guitarist, that's who I'd want to get.
Yeah.
But I'm just really passionate about 3-piece bands.
Dude, like
all my favourite bands from growing up with 3. Or if it was a 4-piece, it was just a singer like Sabbath.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
There's just something about a 3-piece. You can't. There's nowhere to hide. There's no covering anything up.
Exactly.
It would change the whole dynamic, man.
We love Josh like a brother. Joel, but he's from Belconnen, and people that were brought up in Belconnen are poisoned by that toxic dump. But anyway, Joel. Anyway,
I live in Belconnen.
Changing. Anyway, let me talk, man. Joel and we grew up in Ainslie. There's no toxic bubbles there.
Yeah,
what do they drink toxic swill in Belconnen in baby bottles?
Tony came from Queens.
Yeah.
There's no toxic bubbles in Queens.
No.
But anyway, we love each other like brothers, man.
Yeah, man. No, Ainsley's I think it's the
we're
trees,
not just like
the influence of the nice maple leaves.
They're mountain people. They come from the mountains.
It's just we're really lucky because we're not like a band of dudes joining the band. Tony's my cousin's husband. Tony and me are cousins.
Yeah, we spoke about that in the
and
previous
Joel's like my brother, man. So we would hang out. We're mates. We'd hang out regardless of if we played in a band anyway.
Yeah.
We do. We hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that just makes it so much better. When you're with people that you love and you really respect, you play better because you want them to be happy. So you try harder. I try harder for them. Really deep friendship. Yeah, that's just awesome, man. It's magical. We're really, really grateful. I'm just really grateful for every second of the day, dude. Life's so short. Most dudes our age are getting old and cynical. We're like 50 going on 15.
It's starting to take off now.
Music keeps you young, playing music. And how you feel, that's everything.
I think it's also listening as well, like not just playing, but like I couldn't imagine life without listening to music. I'm not in a band myself, and I live through listening to other bands.
Dude, it's an energy
that's the same
man.
as us, man. Like I think when you're playing bands, you tend to just because you're just so obsessed with listening to it. Like when we were 10, me and Marky were in a band that we couldn't even play. We were in a miming band, but we formed a band, so we knew we wanted to do it, but didn't know how.
Yeah.
So for us, it's the same, man. I've got a turntable in my lounge room. It's all I was doing this morning. Just played albums all this morning.
Yeah, where I sit. Where I sit in my cockpit, I have a 16-track in front of me, my guitar on my right side, my bass on my left side, and my drum machine right there, and I record music all day, every day. And if I don't record at least 2 ideas a day, I feel like I've wasted my life, dude. And anything, an artist has to apply themselves like a painter. A painter gets up in the morning and starts painting. You know, you don't just talk about it and think about it and do it at rehearsal. We live and breathe fucking music, man. I'm obsessed. Even in my dreams, I'm hearing our songs that we're working on.
Yeah.
Constantly. You know, you give your body to something and the spirits will hopefully hand you songs. Because where do melodies come from? Do they come from an amalgamation of a billion songs that you've heard in the past? Or are they independent things that are handed to you, you know what I mean? That we're channeling music now, we're not capable of doing that as humans. Our songs are fucking sick, our new songs. We're just stoked. We're so grateful.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely have to agree with the fact that like you guys have like a vibe about the band that it literally seems like when you guys playing, you're like channeling that music. It's legitimately an atmospheric feel that gives this vibe even within the room.
It's not put on.
It feels like all your music sort of flows really nicely together and has an organic feel about it. And I just think that
we've been rehearsing twice a week for nearly 6 years, you know. And when you see those bands, and it's like a drug, and it gives a drug off, and your dopamines are going off on your brain. It's like people in Melbourne really appreciate live music. They go out to get that drug feeling. Yep. You know, Canberra people very much so. They love the cover music bands and things, but Melbourne's a really special place. But musicians, like music's like a drug, man. You want that drug.
Hey man, it's like.
But it's the drug's energy, man. Like,
it's like
to get it off the people, right? The crazier you go, the crazier the people. Man, it just builds up and builds up, and it's a power thing. Yeah. You're throwing it out, and it's coming back. Man, the gigs go fucking sick. Yeah. We don't care if it's 5 people or 5,000. Right. We're going to play that same show and fucking club those 5 people.
We try really hard. We all sweat,
That's what we do.
We all try really hard, and we sweat, and we fucking smash it.
You give it all.
You know,
I think that's one of the things, isn't it? Is like we always say at rehearsals, we come out of rehearsals and you're just drenched, man. Like, and it's not because it's like when we do a gig, it's no different. If you go to a rehearsal, it's no different.
Yeah.
It's not like all of a sudden Marcus puts on his moves. That's what he does. Like that's how he's in rehearsals. You know what I mean?
Every time.
Because I was having fun like a 10-year-old kid. Like when I played my tennis racket for 2 years before I actually got the guitar. Like we all did in front of the mirror after school with the tennis racket.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm still doing that, but now I'm doing the guitar. So when we made the video clips, it was like, man, I used to do this when I was 10 in front of the mirror, and Nan would come in and go, "You want a peanut butter sandwich?" Looking at me going, this child is like completely in his own world, because I was probably brought up by myself, created my own fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome, man. Music's the best. Like all the master philosophers, Nietzsche, and all the awesome dudes, you know, they all say music's the highest art form. We can go to the art gallery, look at a painting, it ain't going to give them dopamines off like... The most ultimate expression of cultural expression, is its music. It's the core basis of any culture, and that's where it comes down to. And if you look at any event where all the humans get together, it's always a musical event. It's always a musical event.
Yeah. It brings people together for sure.
It brings people together.
The world
it's universal,
over, man.
And I thought it can heal people.
Yeah.
It's healed me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah,
fuck
hallelujah.
Achievement I got no money. Fuck money. Happiness and inner achievement for your art.
Yeah,
that's worth $1 trillion. We have something that, you know, billionaires can't buy. You can't buy it with money.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like one of the, like you're saying about something that just developed early on. Yeah. And you guys mentioned in the previous show that you guys were on that, and earlier in this show that you guys were in a band like when you first started when you were 15 years old and doing things like that. So that's how long this sort of starts. Like this goes back a long time, and then Tony comes into the band and adds that extra level to it.
But what's funny is like the songs that we played when Marcus and I were 15, the covers we did were Sabbath, Motorhead, Priest,
that's it,
and Venom.
We the Road Crew, Iron Fist, Bomber, Killed by Death, Green Manalishi, Snowblind by Sabbath. We did Paranoid, but we did a lot of Motorhead.
Yeah, but like, so for us, nothing's ever changed. It's never been. If anything, like I went off and we both went off and did different sort of things, but what we've come back to with this band is truly what our roots genuinely
at 13 had the whole Motorhead collection 1.5 times. Absolute fanatic, and 13 years old. Yep. He knew.
Well, we had...
Thank God he wasn't a Guns N' Roses fan, ladies and gentlemen.
How did he know, but? It's like, man, you got a good ear.
Yeah. Oh, look, man, that's it. But that's what makes all of us, like we've said this 100 times, Tony grew up on the other side of the world at the exact same time as us. And although there's differences, the core music to what we play is exactly the same.
Those bands they just said.
So we were all listening to the exact same stuff.
Just in a different
place.
Venom.
Yeah, all that.
Venom.
But what are the chances?
I went and bought that at a record shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went and got that and bought those records.
I was,
it's
I was
like
massive Merciful Fate.
Yep.
They were my favourite band in year 9. Judas Priest was my favourite band in year 8. But when it was like 24th of December 1983, and I was at home and my cousin-in-law came in his Monero, he pulled up out the front and I could hear this music and he walked in and I was like, dude, what the fuck is that? Oh my God, what was that? He goes, that's Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
said, dude, my life's changed. And it was like literally a light bulb on top of my head. And I remember saying to him vividly, that's what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah, look, I
When
actually
I heard that.
And here we are.
Year 7.
see. I'm obviously like a generation behind.
Couple generations, aren't you?
Our condolences.
There's only been 500 generations in the last 5,000 years. I think that 20,000 years, it's 500 generations. So there's only there's only 2 or something generations every 100 years.
Yeah, so there's like 3 generations of Sabbath fans, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's why I'm lucky to have Jay here.
He's a master.
To bridge the gap in
Thank you, Jack.
in the knowledge that I don't have about Canberra history.
Yeah.
As far as music goes, and I'm part of the current wave of metalheads in Canberra, which is good.
Yeah.
But I also, although I'm a couple generations different from that, I still have like a Sabbath Bloody Sabbath story, which was my old man. He was around with the Sabbath stuff. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album, he had that on vinyl. From original press, like he's all of his stuff he bought when it came out. So he had a bunch of Sabbath albums, he had a bunch of Alice Cooper stuff, which is a little different from what we've been talking about. Alice Cooper, same era though, just a bunch of stuff from that time. And I remember my brother and I, every now and then, Dad would bring out his vinyl collection. My brother and I would just sit there and just look at the covers and imagine what it'd sound like. So we're looking at all the albums, trying to work out wonder what this sounds like, because there's like Iron Maiden in there, there's like a whole bunch Seventh Son of Seventh Son, you know. And we're looking at the front cover of that going, I wonder what this sounds like. There's some AC/DC and things like that. But the one that we always wanted to know what it sounded like, we've been staring at the image our whole childhood, and eventually
It's like demonic.
yeah, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath comes up,
It's
and we
brutal, that cover.
look, and by the time, so we get to like the age, it's before YouTube and stuff, you couldn't
yes.
just look it up. The old man comes over, he goes, all right boys, today's the day, we're going to listen to it and finally be able to hear what it sounds like. Put on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and from that moment onwards, my brother and I have been Sabbath fans, and we've just that intro to that song, as soon as it comes on,
Good starting place.
massive starting place
What
off
an
the
awesome
bat.
riff.
So yeah, that's my Sabbath Bloody Sabbath story.
Awesome.
And it was like generations after it came out, and it's still having that effect.
One of the best covers, I reckon.
You know, when you see an image and you create a story behind, you know, what's going on, what's happening, and all
It's
that
such
sort
a
of stuff.
weird album. The first 2 songs, National Acrobat's the one, like the greatest one. You know, I always say, oh, this is the greatest song ever written. National Acrobat, oh my God.
Song after Sabbath Bloody Sabbath.
You know what I mean? But it's such a
one of the
weird
greatest
album, because
songs
then
ever.
Fluff comes on. Man, how long does it go for? That's like Rick Wakeman, who just joined the band as the keyboard player, and Tony Iommi's little love affair.
On coke.
And it's a beautiful soundtracky song, but dude, it goes on and on and on. It's like, on too much coke. It's a beautiful tune, but it's so out of context.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't
I
it?
know that if I start you guys on Sabbath trivia, we could probably go on forever, I guess. But yeah, that's just a good little story there to connect the generations over one band that's still massive in the sound. I don't think any other band will still have that same resonance that Sabbath did.
Yeah. See, we were supposed in some ways listening to stuff that, you know, your big brother, but I was listening to stuff from my dad, who's like, you know, like your grandfather's age. So my dad bought, Power Age from AC/DC when it came out, and I remember him sitting my brother and I down playing. He goes, you got to sit down, you got to listen to this band. This band's really special. And I remember being, well, it must have been 78 they came out, so I was 8. You know what I mean? I'm getting this lecture from my dad how you have to respect this band and listen to it and understand. So obviously you just go, oh, okay, and then you put it on, and you just kind of go, it kind of just has. And for me, that album is my favourite AC/DC album because there's some kind of, like you're saying, there's obviously Sabbath Bloody Sabbath will probably be your favourite Sabbath album, even though you've heard the others, because there's something that you can personally connect it to. Yeah. And so when things like that happen, it just changes. Yeah. So we were kind of lucky, man. Right? Like the people out with your older brother and my dad and all these people, like, that were exposing us to music, was the best era our opinion, was the best era of music.
I was brought, my nan, my grandmother who brought me up, she brought me up.
Slim Dusty.
Slim Dusty.
Yeah.
Where did you go wrong, Marcus?
I'd sing any Slim Dusty song.
Truth is out.
And the lights on there, I know the hill.
It's got to be something more.
Me.
Yeah.
Mine was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC.
Oh, that album cover, man. I thought it was like, is that a drumstick or what is that?
Is that weird hole? Is that the one you've seen? The original one, yeah.
And I couldn't.
Yeah, it's
weird. When I was a kid, I was thinking, what does Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap mean?
Yeah.
I had no idea up until like only about a couple of weeks ago. What an awesome song! It's vicious.
All right, so
what we got coming up from you guys? Have we got any news or?
Well, we're playing. We're supporting 1,000 Mods, 3rd of April.
That's not far away.
Yeah, so we've got that coming up. And what else we got going on?
They're from Greece.
No, dude, I'm a fan. I've liked them since about 2011.
Yeah, cool. That's that's a gig that
they're Greek dudes. It'll be awesome to hang out with them.
Yeah.
They all look like Tony.
Oh, they got to be cool then.
They're a sick band. Like all the Kaios bands, I reckon they're the best Kaios band.
Yep. Nice.
Out of thousands of Kaios bands.
Should be a good gig, man.
Yeah, we've had that in the gig guide since they announced it, so it's good now to mesh
They
the two
headline
together.
big festivals and shit.
I actually planned to have you guys on the show before that was announced, so it's good now to be able to also put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh yeah, like also this gig that we've been hyping in the gig guide, you guys are now announced as playing on that as well. So that's really good. I love it when things like that happen.
We're playing at the Bendigo Hotel in Melbourne, a thing called Witchfest. That's happening. Yeah, that's happening in. Is it?
It's all bands with the name Witch. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a different Witch from all over. No, 26th.
Fucked on it.
Yeah, the 26th. 26th of April Witchfest, and that's at the Bendigo. So we're looking forward to that because obviously every time we play Melbourne, we're much happier there than anywhere else probably. So yeah, no, it'll be good.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good gig to have on the list.
Yeah.
And just purely based off the name too. Like I'd like to have seen the selection process. Like, oh, cool. Like it would be one of which band do we choose? I feel like it'd be one of those things where it's like you'd also have to check the band, so they'd be like totally impressed by the fact that like not only do you have Witch in the name, but also a rad band. You know what I mean? Like you'd probably sort through bands that use the word Witch in their name, and then you'd be like, oh, they got what they need, but I'm not really sure whether I want to have them on the bill or whatever, because it might not fit with whatever they're doing.
No, I think everything is kind of similar style, and there's out of the 5 bands, every one of them's from a different state.
That's cool.
So it should be a pretty good night, I reckon.
We spoke about this in the previous episodes that we did, and it's basically one of those things where it's like mixed bills is where people discover new music. Like, so if you choose something random like the name of the band, you're going to have like a fairly mixed bill. And that's where, people might go out to see one band and catch you guys and become fans.
It's a sad thing. Everything's become so categorised in genre style, and people only like a certain genre. Yep. Like them Bill Graham San Francisco gigs, think of the bands on them bills.
Yeah. That's good when you.
There's a blues
did
dude.
shows like that with all different styles, and you get new fans, and you might like a band that you see, and you pick up different fans that you wouldn't normally play to. Man, that's a cool thing when you have
you just meet
like
and you meet different people too.
It's cool.
It's good.
Yeah.
Apparently, we put the Witch Fest is on the Friday night, and then the following night is Fuck Fest, and every band has got fuck in their name.
Oh right.
On Saturday night.
Yeah. That's pretty funny actually.
Yeah.
Hey, it works, man. It's Melbourne. That's what it's like.
Yeah, at the Bendigo, that's awesome place.
Yeah, that is. We won't.
That's a Fuck I'm Dead show. I'm going to that.
Ah, yeah, right. There you go.
Come
a day early.
We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Yep. No, good, man. So the original reason that you guys came up on the radar is we've had you on the show before, but I seen the Breathing Blue Light video crop up on social media, and I knew that was in the works because I'd been speaking. I think it came up when I was talking to Josh about it. And once it finally came through, I'm like, wow, because Josh explained some of the, where you guys filmed it and things like that. But yeah, to see it finally materialise as a video in front of me, I was just like blown away because it's such a rad song, and then all of a sudden I've got like a video to go along with it, as well as just I'm not just listening to it, but I'm seeing it as well. And as a side note, yeah, like you said, you when you rehearse, it's just like you're playing a show, and yeah, you're going to upscale it a bit for a video because it's a visual representation. You've got like different lighting and all that stuff, but I think that video was also a good representation of your stage presence as well. It wasn't like you brought it through the roof for the video. It's not like when you're doing stage stuff, you're not just standing still. Like you guys really yeah,
there was all that dirt to kick around. It was so much fun.
That was so much fun. And dude, the scene where Marcus has got the pickup. I've seen him do that on stage, like pretty much every show. So I'm like,
that's us. That
it
video.
Made sense that was in the video because it happens on stage. Like like I said, it wasn't like out of proportion of what I've seen you guys do. And so, what was it like doing that? You guys?
What time did we get there? We went to old Captain's Flat Mine. I've never been out there. It was surreal. Have you been out there?
In the afternoon.
I've never been out there.
Oh, it was awesome. We got out there in the early afternoon, and we had a group of people with us helping us. But the two guys that were making it, just full-on professional filmmakers, like they said they had $200,000 worth of video equipment. And the drone, how much was that drone worth? It wasn't just like a $1,500 one. Dude, this was like...
I've seen drones in
this was on a whole new level,
right.
And when we watched it back, we just went, "Holy shit! Look at this." I wasn't expecting that. It's like grand, epic.
Yep.
Really, really good quality. We had another guy, Cody, who used to do lights for Lime Spiders. He's an older fella. He's musical knowledge encyclopedia, and he did the slides on the big silos.
That's cool.
With those big silos out there. We finished up. What time we finished? About at 12 o'clock at night.
No, it was way after that.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was like. But it was. We had a fantastic day.
It was a big,
awesome.
long day, but it was good.
Real special. When it got dark, we went, "Oh, this is gonna look sick."
Yeah,
when it went black around us, right, with those lights, we went, "Oh, this is."
Because it was
Richard,
because there was that section of the video where, like you said, with the lights and stuff, which just completely. Normally, a video would be like a linear setting. But that completely changed the dynamic of it, and I really liked it.
Our friend Richard Granger made it for us with his mate. I don't know what the other Roger?
Roger, the cameraman, yeah. So it was just working with, we're just lucky. We've got a lot of really good people that help us sort of do things that we wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to do otherwise. So we're lucky like that. But it's more about coming up with a good idea, and if you come up with a good idea and find a good location, and then you get the right people.
That was an amazing location. Like I said, I can't speak highly enough for the video. I reckon that the location and everything was perfect, and also the lighting, everything just nailed it. Yeah,
they did an exceptional job. Joel's a master adept at organising people. He's just a master at it. So when I got there, there's 6 cabinets.
Yep.
And there's like filmmakers, and there's all this contingent of crew and people come along. It was awesome. It's about having good, awesome people around you.
Yeah. Well,
but it's not.
I know the feeling right now. Actually,
we were blown away like you when we saw it for the first time.
People around.
We were just as blown away by that. When we saw the playback, we were like, "Holy!" To see it put together, man.
With the drone flying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those things where someone else has you have the idea and then someone else has the method on how to do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I know that, like, especially with, you know, things like tattoos and things, you got an idea of what you want it to look like, but the artist is the dude that or girl that can actually make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be similar with video clips, or like just like with recording for an album, like you guys were, you know, like you guys would do with yours, recording for an album. You know how it sounds, how it works, but then someone else puts their mixing and mastering on it. And
where we were, there's a couple of like farms around. And they didn't know what we were doing, and you know it's night time, and they're cranking the PA. Yeah. And here comes this dude, and I'm miming along, and I can see this dude, and he's got a rifle. Yeah. He's got the chick with him, like his girlfriend. Yeah. Thinking, oh. Well,
what you boys doing over there?
This dude walked up behind everybody with a rifle. Yeah. Then we stopped, and he was just a bearded young dude going, "Oh, I didn't know what was going on." Funny, man.
You doing that satanic rock and roll business round here?
It was sort of, you know, like Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii. It was an area sort of like that in that circle, like a metal.
Yeah, like I said, man,
brutal
blown away by the look and sound of that, man. Well, obviously the sound's always been amazing with the album, and then to see the video as well, nails it.
I love the Crowley image. Crowley. If you think Crowley is holy, you say Crowley, but Crowley is if you think he's foully. So you pronounce it Crowley, like Crowley. I love the Crowley imagery. You know, Kenneth Anger movie. Yeah. Lucifer. What is it? Lucifer Rising. Brilliant.
Yeah, Cody's got some trippy shit, man.
Yeah. Where the dude's circumambulating in the circle, and there's Had It and Knew It. Thelemic.
Yeah, that's our shadows at the end. I don't know if you know that. They're on silos that are like 40, 50 feet tall. And we were playing in front of projectors. Yep. And, man, to see that one, man, you couldn't believe what it looked like there.
Yeah, it was our shadows. Like,
our shadows were like 30, 40 feet tall.
You don't really see it on the video. Awesome, you don't get the effect on the video. But there, our shadows were like 100 feet
it was like
on the silos.
We were in front of the projector. I said, no, do this. You know, like, it was cool.
And kicking in halfway into the clip, Roger had the camera where you shoot and it's like...
sped up.
Oh yeah, when they filmed, they made me track against it at twice the speed of the song, so that then when you slow it down, you're in slow motion, but you're still in time with the song. Right. So it was weird trying to track along to it, going twice as fast.
Going like this.
What are we doing?
And then we look at back, and it's like, and Joel's like,
we couldn't stop laughing.
Joel's hair looks amazing when it goes into it. There's just this hair, and it's like, it looks fucking amazing.
Joel's gorgeous in that part.
It looks stunning.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that I remember as well was
how gorgeous Joel is, right? Yeah, we all did.
Well, that was what we, like you were saying earlier, the people that we have around us, they know stylistically what we're trying to achieve, so they try and bring ideas of their own in that fits within it. Excellent. So we were pretty open to just let them do whatever they wanted. Yeah, cool. You know, and
real happy with it, man.
Really, really good, man. So that's your video clip for Breathing Blue Light. Also, as part of your last album, did like some recording for a documentary as well.
Yes.
Now that one's not like out or anything just yet. It's just we just know that it's been recorded, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we've got Richard Granger, who made our last two video clips. Yeah. He's going to edit it because he shot it all when we were in New York, and my brother came to New York with us, and because he's a location sound guy, so he did all the audio for it. So we're just in the process of getting that put together now. So Rich Granger's just doing all the editing on that. So hopefully in the next couple of months we're going to be in a position where we're going to have... So really, look, it's a bit weird making a documentary when no one knows who you are, but for us it was more about just capturing what we went through.
Well, people know Billy.
Well, that's right. So people are going to take an interest. Like if you're into heavy music, you're going to want to watch Billy making an album. If you're interested in heavy music at all, I'd watch any doco where a band's making
Marcus
an album,
in New York.
I reckon it's interesting.
Marcus in New York City, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
look,
worth it right there.
it's going to be. Look, for us, it's just going to be. It's going to be something that's going to, be good for us to have as a, as a memento of a pretty important time of our life, going to Tony's hometown.
Sick, my
making
family
an
were all
album.
there at the gig, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Richie, he taped a whole bunch of gigs, man, like of us, man, here and over there. But there's shit tons of footage, man. He's got to weed through it, It should be awesome,
But we brought Joel's brother as well, who's a sound man.
Jason Fuller was there.
Yep.
We wanted Fuzz there because we always knew he was going to be mixing the album back here.
Yeah,
so it was
he
like
did the first album. Yeah,
he did.
Yep.
So this one's a co-produced.
Goat Sound Studio.
Goat Sound,
Yeah, so this one's co-produced, so it's Billy Anderson and Fuller.
Yep.
Because although Billy did the bulk of the engineering with the tracking part of it, we knew that Fuller was the guy that can actually knows exactly how we're supposed to sound. He's worked with us. He's seen us live. So I think having him mix it made a big difference. And then a guy called Dave Byrne, mate of Marky's, who runs Iridium Mastering. He mastered it for us because we got it mastered in America. It came back and it was just completely squashed, like, real modern, which was like, well, why do we want to make like a big expansive analog album and then just compress the hell out of it?
Lose that,
So we scrapped it, we paid for it, and then had to scrap that and go get it mastered again by Dave at Iridium.
Yep.
And again, because he knows who we are and what we're trying to do. So I think
we
for us,
spent a year mixing it.
yeah. So we've we've got to a stage where we just know who to work with.
Fuzz kept sending us mixes, and it was like, oh, this bit needs to be, and this bit, and then another mix, that bit needs to. So it took ages.
It was painful.
Yeah,
like,
you get sick of
brutal.
that shit.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
But we're happy with the end result.
But
We're happy. So now it's like it's done. So now we're just looking forward to writing and just gigging this album.
Yeah. No, that's really, really good, man. I definitely appreciate the work and effort that goes into it because you guys didn't just put out the album on CD. It also came out on vinyl for Rise Above. You got the I mentioned before. I've got all 3 editions of the album: the clear, purple, and black.
Sick.
Oh, that's very nice.
awesome,
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
How cool is that purple one?
oh man, So the thing is, I know with collectors usually you leave them in the sleeve, man, but I had to open it up and have a look.
being on that record label is such an achievement. It's like it's an incredible achievement for us.
Yeah.
Rise Above Records is my favourite record of all time, label of all
and now
time.
you're on it.
Half my favourite bands are on that label. Have either been on it. It's the absolute royalty with the best live bands in the world. For my bands that I love, like the Doomy Sabbath bands, Goat, Snake and Sleep and Electric Wizard and Cathedral, and it just goes, the list just goes on, Church of Misery, and the list goes on and on and on. And for us to be there with them, I think I can die a happy person now.
Man, when I got,
I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of us.
Yeah, man.
I love Lee Dorian. I love Cathedral's my 3rd favourite band of all time.
That's what
I
that
know
album
every
got
lyric of it.
To that. He loved it, man.
Yeah.
I know.
That happened with that
Well,
record.
even
that big things happen.
Lee loves us. That's the #1 dude on the planet.
That's good, man. It's even the attention to detail. When I got the albums, they came in a box that was wrapped with Rise Above tape. The logo was on the tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm major fanboy. I kept the tape.
Yeah.
Did you get them all 3 at once? In the box with the plastic things on the corners?
I ordered 6 because a mate of mine got all 3 as well. So, it was in a box, 6 vinyls all in one thing.
Packed really good with the plastic things on the corners.
Everything.
How sick was that, man?
Yeah, I have an open mind, so I've still...
I have to admit, I didn't open the clear, but the purple one's definitely out.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so, man...
Sabbath Purple, awesome.
Sick.
Right now, we'll close it out with the final song, but before we leave, thanks everybody for listening, and thank you guys for coming in.
It's been an honour and a pleasure.
Brother.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you and Jay. Good one, man. Thanks heaps.
Yeah, it's been awesome having you in. It's repeat guests is definitely the way to go. You guys are the first band we've had on twice in the interview section. We've had some as a feature, hyping a gig or something like that.
Thank you very much.
But the first band to come back and do a second show.
Thank you.
So really appreciate it.
Oh, awesome. It's an honour.
Yeah.
Absolutely honoured. Thank you.
Always good talking to you, man.
Love having you guys in. And make sure you keep an eye on their social medias for any upcoming gigs and dates and things like that, as we hyped in the gig guide. They've got the 1000 Mod gig on the 3rd of April at the Basement, and then keep an eye out for any other gigs coming up. But for now, we're going to be listening to Breathing Blue Light, which is the track behind the video clip that we're talking about. And make sure you head over to their page to watch the video as well. So this is Breathing Blue Light by Witchskull on Canberra Metalheads.
This is Tony from Witchskull, and you're listening to Canberra Metalheads.
Please buy our merchandise.
No, keep that in. It's part of the band.
Sorry about that.
I think that it would be... I think it would just be plain disrespectful if we took that out. I reckon we should leave that in.
You did it on the mic.
I feel like everybody
so metal.
Yeah, exactly. But,
it's like metal like goats.
I reckon we'll definitely close the interview with that. Just good. Like, we're Witchskull, you're listening to Canberra Metalheads.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Bam!